Good afternoon. Thank you for joining us. I'm Krisa Nachkate. Welcome to APTN National News. What should have been a normal stop to pick up an online order at a Home Depot store in North Winnipeg turned into an incident that has now led to customers choosing to take their business elsewhere. Both believe racism from the security guard involved was the reason things turned out the way they did. We spoke to the two customers involved and the company who apologized and attempted to make amends. Here's that story.
You know, there's other places where we can spend our money. And we've done a lot of business over the years.
Long-time customers Calvin Nepenak and Jennifer Chartrand are choosing to shop elsewhere after this incident that happened on Tuesday, October 1st, involving a Toro security guard.
You gotta go home with, buddy.
Calvin.
First time? Who's the one started, huh? You got act tough.
The couple says they went to this Home Depot on the 800 block of Leela Avenue in Winnipeg to pick up the door they purchased online. When they arrived, they decided to stop and look at the Halloween display and snowblowers. And that is when a security guard approaches Nepenak.
Oh my God.
He says, what are you doing here? What do you want? And I said, excuse me? That's exactly what I said, excuse me? And then he said, what are you doing here? What do you want? I said, I'm here to pick up an online order. I said, you know what? You don't even work here. You're just a security guard. I said, you're not an employee here. And then that's when he got mad.
This guy just came up to us and he's like almost attacking Calvin. What the hell?
Chartrand's cell phone video begins recording about 1 minute after the initial interaction. The guard then takes out his cell phone to make his own recording, while Chartrand and Nepenak try to get the incident resolved at the customer service desk.
Oh my God, I'm like flipping out.
Then, a heated back and forth between Nepenak and the security guard.
You said the same thing. No, I didn't. You just told me to go back to my country.
Chartrand says she wanted to record everything, fearing that if she didn't, the interaction could have been a lot worse.
Because I've heard these stories go terrible, you know? I fumbled for my phone and I instantly went live.
Look at that. Look at that. He's still going at it. He's still going at it.
In the end, they were told by the security guard to leave the store, both upset and without their purchase.
We were completely humiliated. Absolutely. I felt like a criminal when we weren't.
Home Depot reached out to them to apologize and say they started an investigation. In a statement, a Home Depot spokesperson said, "We take these matters seriously, and the actions of the third-party security guard involved were unacceptable and did not align with our values. Customer service, respect, and safety are always a priority. I can tell you that the security guard involved is no longer at this store." APTN News attempted to get a comment from Toro Security in Winnipeg about the incident and the security guard involved. However, the company told APTN News they were unavailable numerous times. Chartrand says she wants cultural sensitivity training for Home Depot and the third-party staff it hires, while Nepenak believes there's a more serious reason as to why this happened. And after years of being watched and followed in other stores, Nepenak decided to take a stand on this day.
It's, how do you say it, racial profile. That's exactly what it is, you know, and I happen to look very indigenous, you know, but there's nothing I can do about that.
Home Depot also said they offered Nepenak and Chartrand their online order for free, along with free delivery to their home and an added Home Depot gift card for the trouble they went through. The couple said they did not accept the offer. We will bring you any updates from this story in the days ahead. The Seing Anishinaabe First Nation in Manitoba held a somber healing event on Monday in the aftermath of suddenly losing one of their members. Last Monday, a 26-year-old woman was murdered in the community. On October 14th at around 12:20 a.m., Powerview RCMP received a call about a woman being assaulted on North Shore Road in Seing. They located a woman on the side of the road where she was pronounced deceased. On Wednesday, RCMP charged a 15-year-old boy with second-degree murder. The next day, they charged an additional suspect, 20-year-old Lexi Fontaine, also charged with second-degree murder. Both suspects remain in custody while the investigation continues. The First Nation is located about an hour and a half north of Winnipeg. The Manitoba Métis Federation held its annual General Assembly over the weekend, welcoming thousands of Red River Métis virtually and in person in Winnipeg. On Saturday, the MMF announced a $2 million investment in the Red River Métis 60-scoop bridge to Justice Fund. The fund will give advance payments of up to $5,000 to Red River Métis 60-scoop survivors to provide immediate financial relief. The MMF also announced that they're developing an AI model to help revitalize the Michif language and boost cultural programming. The details of the MMF's Children's Special Allowance class action lawsuit were also discussed. Settlements totaling $530 million were approved in early September. Métis Child and Family Services Minister Mona Beers said the Federation is still looking for people who may be eligible for compensation.
President Chartrand went and fought to get our mandate, and we are not fully there yet, but we are going hopefully with Bill C-92. But we don't wait for that. We take care of our children. We make sure they're in culturally appropriate places. We make sure they're culturally aware, and we always in the best interest of the child. So in conclusion, I would like to remind everyone that we are still looking for children who may be eligible for compensation under the Children's Special Allowance class action lawsuits.
A bill that formally recognizes the Haida Nation in British Columbia continues to make its way through Parliament. On Monday, Bill S-16 was up for discussion at the Indigenous and Northern Affairs Committee. The bill is currently at second reading. Crown Indigenous Relations Minister Gary Anandasangari was one of the witnesses who spoke to the committee. He said the proposed legislation contains two basic things.
That both Canada and British Columbia legally recognize the Haida Nation holds inherent rights to governance and self-determination. And two, it will affirm that the Council of the Haida Nation is authorized to make decisions on these rights. They will be able to act as a distinct legal entity with the capabilities of a natural person.
Now to British Columbia, where the three Indigenous candidates were profiled on Friday have all won seats in the provincial legislature. NDP incumbent Joan Phillip won Vancouver Strathcona by a large margin, with 68.8% of the vote, more than 3 times more than second-place finisher Conservative Scotty Muller. First-time Conservative candidate Aaliyah Warbus won in Chilliwack Cultus Lake over her nearest rival, Kelly Padden of the NDP. And first-time NDP candidate Tamara Davidson won her constituency of North Coast Haida Gwaii, also by a wide margin over Conservative Chris Sankey. Just which party governs BC for the next term is still too close to call. A recount is being held, and the results are expected to come in between October 26th and October 28th. We're always looking for your feedback or new story ideas. Here's how you can continue the conversation with us. If you have a story you want to share, don't be shy. Send us an email to news@aptn.ca. To read and watch our stories you may have missed, go to www.aptnnews.ca. You can also find us online on your favorite social media sites, including TikTok, LinkedIn, and X. And you can watch this newscast anywhere, anytime on YouTube. Make sure to follow APTN News to join the conversation and see our latest stories. The late Algonquin NHL Hall of Famer George Armstrong and his family was recently honored this week. We'll tell you how in about 3 minutes. Stay with us. Welcome back. The love of hockey brought together NHL alumni in Greater Sudbury, not only honoring a Toronto Maple Leafs legend, but also supporting a good cause. During the official ceremony renaming the arena in Garson as the George Armstrong Community Centre and Arena, his nephew, NHL linesman Dan McCourt, ensured facts were accurate about his uncle. Armstrong, who is Algonquin, is a 4-time Stanley Cup champion and one of the most prominent Indigenous athletes of his time. He passed away in 2021. CTV's Angela Gemmel reports.
He was born in Bolins Bay, not Ski. His father was Scottish, not Irish.
NHL linesman Dan McCourt ensures facts are accurate about his uncle, the late George Armstrong. The arena in Garson now bears the name of the hockey legend nicknamed Chief. Other former Maple Leafs captains traveled to Sudbury to honor their friend and former teammate.
So I can see, just being younger, why he was the captain of the Toronto Maple Leafs, and probably our greatest captain. He got to win all those Stanley Cups. So hopefully he's up there having a little talk with the big guy right now, just figuring out what's going on. He's just taking his time.
Clark, along with Daryl Sittler and Rick Vive, are in Sudbury to take part in the annual Celebrity Hockey Classic for Easter Seals, a charity that helps children and youth with physical disabilities. The event is all about inclusion.
George being one of the first Indigenous hockey players to play the game, we were also one of the first celebrity hockey events that hosted an all-Indigenous team. So they've been a big part of this event when it first started, and they're here with us again 3 years later.
Armstrong's son says his father didn't like the spotlight, but used his hockey status to help others.
Giving back was always important to him, and it was something that he kind of taught us. So even after I stopped playing, I coached. And because I didn't feel like it was giving back, it was also because I enjoyed it. But that's the type of person he was.
Rick Vive says in the mid-'70s, Armstrong tried to recruit him to the Leafs farm team, the Toronto Marlies. Eventually, he did play for the Leafs in the '80s, and that connection allows him to still connect with fans, including those in Sudbury.
The fans come out and they watch the games. More so when the alumni games are played. Like we've played up here, our Leaf alumni, several times, and the fans are fantastic, and they come in between periods, get autographs and stuff, and it's a blast. It really is.
George Armstrong not only holds a special place in hockey history, but also in the hearts of fans here in Garson and around the world, including a new generation using this arena, walking by his picture. Angela Gemmel, CTV News, Garson.
A First Nations community in Manitoba is turning to the popular video game Minecraft to try and help kids to get in touch with their ancestral traditions. CTV's Alex Karpa shows us what it looks like and whether it's a move in the right direction.
This is Minecraft, a game where players build worlds with blocks. Now Manitoba's Bloodvein River First Nation is using those tools to teach students with a new map in the program that includes interaction with elders, ice fishing, and dog sledding.
It's about attendance and getting kids motivated to step through the door, getting that hook, and getting them invested in school.
The map features the Indigenous cultures and perspectives of the Pimichiawan Aki, which is Canada's first mixed UNESCO World Heritage Site.
It's important for a community like Bloodvein to incorporate and integrate technology in education. It's so impactful and meaningful. It leads to different career pathways.
Video provided by the coding company shows what looks like the east side of Lake Winnipeg, and Hildebrand says the map is available in Minecraft education. Elder William Young, who runs land-based programs in the community, is featured in the game.
With our community the way it is, and nobody knows about it, and we want to share that information out there.
This isn't the first integration with First Nations for the game. There are maps for the Coast Salish communities in BC, and now in development, one in Alberta that teaches students the Métis language, Michif.
In the future, hopefully this community is full of stories about, the place names and like how it got founded and who's been living here for generations.
Clinical psychologist Todd Cunningham says games and education isn't new, but it's dangerous if there isn't a focus.
There's actually a purpose of what's going on and an educational theme that's being driven through the simulation that is happening in Minecraft.
Teachers in Bloodvein have been taught the software similar to this, and now plans are being made for students to begin workshops using the map late November. Alex Carpa, CTV News, Winnipeg.
The Governor General of Canada is our next guest in an all-new episode of Face to Face tonight. She recently spoke to our Dennis Ward in Ottawa. Mary Simon is the first Indigenous Governor General of Canada, a position that has always drawn criticism. But last year, Simon had to shut down comments on social media accounts due to racist, sexist, and abusive comments. She says it is much more toxic today for people in public life. Here's a preview.
Yes, there's been a lot more social media attacks. It's like on myself when I was first installed. A lot of women leave their positions because of the horrific comments that people make against them. So I think it's more challenging. It's mainly a lot more in regards to women and girls, and also Indigenous women and Indigenous girls especially. And it also happens to men, but not to the same degree. So it is more challenging. People are looking to see whether they in fact want to be in public life, you know. So we have to counter that, and I'm working hard to work with others to see how we can do that.
Definitely make sure to catch that episode of Face to Face with our Dennis Ward on APTN later today. We now want to tell you about this week's web poll question. Over on our website, we ask, do you understand why chiefs at the Assembly of First Nations voted to renegotiate an agreement on reforming the on-reserve child welfare system? Your answers are yes, no, or need more information. Go over to aptnnews.ca to have your say. Youth from the Pikan-Jikum First Nation in Northern Ontario recently took part in a photography camp with the help of historical photo curator Paul Sisiquasis. That interview when we come back in less than 3 minutes. Starting on the East Coast, St. John's 10, Charlottetown 11. Nain 4, Cartwright 6. Gaspé 9, Val-d'Or 12. Ottawa 16, Sault Ste. Marie 13. 24 in Timmins, Thunder Bay 13. God's Lake 0, Pugatawagan -1. 6 in Gimli, Princess Harbor 2. 2 in Yorkton, -2 in Saskatoon. LaRange -3, Stony Rapids -5. +3 in Peace River, Fort McMurray +1. 10 in Lethbridge, Calgary 5. Tofino 11, Campbell River 10. Fort Nelson +1, Bees Lake 0. -4 in Watson Lake, Mayo -3. 0 in Yellowknife, -3, Wrigley. Sax Harbor -5. Chesterfield -2, Baker Lake -4. And Clyde River -2, Arctic Bay -5. Over the past week, youth in Pikangikum First Nation in Northern Ontario have been taking part in a photography camp. Celebrated Cree author and historical photo curator Paul Sisi-Quasis was also there to help out. For some, it was the first time they'd ever used a camera. For more on this project, Dennis Ward spoke to Harvey Turtle, a cultural teacher with the land-based program, along with Leo Quill, who is the program manager of the Youth Hub, and senior project manager Carolina Budiman. Here's that interview.
Thanks to you all for taking some time here for us today. Harvey, let's start with you. Can you tell us about the photography camp?
Oh, it went pretty good. Everything went well. The youth had a good time, fishing, hunting. It was windy and rain. Other than that, the youth had a good time out there. For the program I'm working with for the youth here, everything is going well so far, and I'm looking forward to the near future for more trips like this. Been doing this all summer.
Nice. Leo, what were your hopes for this program?
Yes, I'm actually under the youth center manager, and I often work with Harvey with the youth. We go together and organize stuff and take youth out. So we try to get the youth involved with more cultural hunting, trapping, how to live outdoors, basic safety, and what to do at camp, how to safely be out there.
Carolina, I understand that this, for some, was the first time that they'd used the camera, and they got to keep the camera as well.
Yeah, that's right. We did Insta cameras, and this program came about through a Ministry of Ontario funding from Ministry of Colleges and Universities ITIP program, and it was a youth empowerment program that would lead to skills training and post-secondary school training. So in Pikangikum, the education protocols rely on land-based programs to build up leadership skills. So Harvey and Leo do that already in community and out of community. Our next project is actually to build a land-based education center on the land. Yeah.
Nice. Harvey, what have you heard from the youth about this camp, and is it something that you'd like to continue?
Oh yeah, definitely. Because we're doing this for the youth here. Usually youth have, because some of the youth and parents here don't have camps or trap lands to go to. Okay. And mainly those are the youth. We take them to camps camps that are only what do you say that, like camps
45
yeah
an hour away, 45
like
minutes an hour away.
45
Yeah.
well, camps that are only accessible by float plane. Hopefully I'll keep that going next season.
Mm-hmm.
It's been pretty good so far.
Nice. Carolina, what have you heard from the youth who took part in this photo camp?
Well, for many, as you've mentioned before, it was the first time handling a one-time use camera. It was a very unique experience for them because they actually got the photo, the product, right there in a few minutes. It's not like they needed a phone and have it saved on the phone. And it coincided quite nicely, actually, with an elders housing complex that we opened. So we shared those photos with the elders at the opening. And it was really quite awesome to see. The youth are very proud of the land and the beauty of their surroundings, and to have that contained in a photograph was really special. They had 200, I think, negatives, and they went right through it. Yeah. So it was very good.
Definitely some beautiful territory up there to be taking photos of. Leo, Harvey, Carolina, we'll leave it there, but thanks for talking to us about this program and for the work you're doing up there with the youth.
Thank you.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you, Dennis, and that's your midday newscast for this Tuesday, October 22nd. Dennis will be back for your 5 p.m. national newscast. Thank you for watching.